Hey, it's Joddie Taylor of SnackySays. Welcome back to my podcast, the SnackySays podcast. Today I'm chatting about my friends. In particular, this is our first ever creator spotlight. So for context, I read a fair bit of newsletters, and I've noticed over the last few years that some newsletters will feature or shout out other content creators or creative entrepreneurs or just their friends. And I've been wanting to do something like that, so we're going to do it today. If you are listening to this when it is uploaded, you're probably like, oh, it's not Sunday. Yep. Usually I release podcast episodes on Sundays, but I already have something lined up for this weekend. So I thought I want to share about these creators and also my friends and put the spotlight on them. So we're doing this in the middle of the week or early in the week. We'll see when it uploads. So who are my friends? Let me tell you about them. Number one, not in order of importance. They're all special to me, but someone has to go first. So Tag, you're it, Chisomo. If you've listened to the podcast before, if you've been listening for a while, you know Chisomo is one of my friends. I've been on her podcast a few years ago. We've worked together. I've taken her courses, and she was on my podcast, the SnackySays podcast, last summer. And that episode is always in the top 5 or top 10 of my most downloaded episodes. And it is called From Fashion Design to Pursuing a Dream, Chisomo's Creative Entrepreneur Story. So since we last spoke to Chisomo, she's had a few things going on, some exciting developments. And most recently, she's been coaching. She's doing life coaching. And I've had a session with her and found it super duper helpful. I have a link for you. And if you are listening to this in April and May of 2024, you have the opportunity to get free coaching from Chisomo. You can access up to 3 free calls subject to availability. I'll put a link in the show notes. It starts with thedream.com/coaching-complimentary. That's the link. She does a great job here of talking about what is coaching and what is not. So when I had my session with her, I kind of went into it like, great, just someone's going to tell me what to do. Fantastic. But as you were talking, I realized that the solutions had to come from me, but she guided me through like talking about the issue I was having or issues in a really helpful, chill, calm way. And it was almost kind of like being, I don't want to say this because I don't want to misrepresent what coaching is, but I will say, instead of her being like, hey, do this, through her guidance and talking about the issues I was having. In my case, we were talking about some things that I wanted to address on the business side of my life. And just in talking to her and with her guidance, by the end of that video call, I was like, okay, here are the 3 next best steps that I can take for myself. So I hope that gives you a little sneak peek, but contact Chisomo directly if you're interested. Of course, she is a proper life coach, so she will do a much better job of explaining what coaching is and isn't. And she also has this excellent write-up on this link that I just shared, so do check it out. Like I said, she has courses, she has coaching, she has a shop, she does digital planners and also physical products, so do check her out. She also has a podcast. All of her information will be in the show notes. Next up, my homegirl Sahia. So she just moved to Paris, France. It has not been 3 full weeks yet as of this recording. I'm so proud of her. There is nothing more exciting than someone setting a goal, different from a dream, because a dream is like, oh, that would be cool. Goal. You know, she started out studying French a few years ago. Like, I remember her saying, like, yeah, I'm studying French. And that turned into more lessons, one-on-one lessons. That turned into, I think I might want to live in France. And now she is studying there and living there. And you can follow her in real time. She's been doing posts since she got there. So get in early. You'll see her you can see her, find her rather, on YouTube at Tosh in Paris, TASH in Paris, at Tash, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing it 2 different ways. at Tosh in Paris, Tasch, Sahia. I hope I'm pronouncing Tosh right. I'm so used to saying Sahia, but the channel is Tosh. So if you go to her Instagram, that is going to be at Sahia, which is Tsahia, and she has posts there as well. So either Instagram or on YouTube. YouTube, the handle is actually at Je suis Tosh. So Je suis, do you like my French pronunciation? That's JESUISTASH. Again, all links will be in the show notes. So get in early on her adventures in Paris. I'm loving it. So you're going to see her walking around. You're going to see architecture. I think she has a blog coming up. So just stay tuned. Early days yet. Very exciting. Next up, my last friend in this content creator spotlight podcast episode is actually blogging anonymously. She is also on Substack like myself, and the name of her Substack is Fix Your Plate. That's at Fix Your Plate on Substack. And I'll just read the description here. A space for Black women to level up in all kinds of ways, whether it's financially, emotionally, intellectually, or cultural. Find joy where you can. Empower yourself. Let's grow together. So I was reading her most recent post earlier, and it knocked my socks off because this is a story that she actually recently shared with me. And yet, reading it, I felt like it almost as if it was the first time I was hearing it. She's such a great writer, and I love the way that she has things laid out. She's been posting since the beginning of this year, 2024. So again, get in early. Please, all of the ladies that I am mentioning, please follow, like, subscribe. They are all overwhelmingly intelligent and bright and witty, and I'm proud to be called their friend. Anything else I want to say? Oh, going back to Fix Your Plate. So I just read the description, but you'll see the post that she has so far really cover life, like joy, the pursuit of joy, and what does that look like, and finance and slice of life. I just have great expectations and excitement around Fix Your Plate Substack. You might know this if you've listened to the podcast or read the newsletter, but I love anonymous vloggers. They're my thing. And anonymous bloggers. I don't talk about that as much because most of the anonymous bloggers that I used to read were in the personal finance space, and I no longer follow that space as closely as I used to a few years ago. So this is just like right up my alley. However, ironically, funny enough, I actually know this friend, I was going to say in real life, but that kind of assumes that I have a fake life. But anyway, highly recommend. She's a real gem. I think you'll enjoy her Substack. So again, that is Chisomo, and then Sahia, and then my anonymous blogger Substack friend. If she ever does, a reveal, you'll know if you go ahead and subscribe to her Substack. Okay, that is our first content spotlight or creator spotlight. I'm still workshopping the name. We'll see. There are so many talented individuals out there, some that I know in person and some that I've just been following. So we'll see how this segment pans out. Maybe I will feature more folks that I know. Maybe I'll feature folks that I've just been following and admiring. But I want to do this more often, just kind of like focus on folks who are doing it, living their best lives. It takes a lot of courage to put your thoughts out there for everyone to consume. It takes a lot of courage to create a course, to be a coach, to constantly every day, no matter what you're doing, whether it's a product or a service, whatever you're creating, I think it's extremely courageous to be like, look what I made. Look what I'm doing. It takes guts. And I want to celebrate my friends and celebrate creators who show up and just have the guts to consistently do it, to consistently put themselves out there and show their work and share their work. Please follow these ladies. Please subscribe. Please leave comments, and please share their work. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode or any of my podcast episodes, please share with a friend or three. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe to my SnackySays newsletter and podcast at joddie.substack.com. That's JODDIE.substack.com. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.